So here's what we're going to need today for painting faces. I'm going to be using two brushes, size 0 or 1, whatever you use for your normal basing. It's only going to be used for base coating. Then a 00. This is your good fine detail brush. As you can see, the point on this is very fine. Water in a dropper bottle for just getting precise amounts. Use a syringe as well. I flip flop between the two depending on whether I need the bottle for something else. Colours. I'm going to be using dark flesh tone from Game Colour. So there's the dark flesh is probably the GW equivalent. Vomit brown. That is GW. Heavy skin tone, so this will be the Tarlin flesh, the GW foundation set equivalent. So this is Vallejo's version, and bleach bone. So I'm just using standard, easy to come by colours for this tutorial. Normally, like I say, I have a lot of Panzer Aces, so normally I would be tempted to use some other paints like Highlights Flesh, Pale Flesh, and some others. But I'm going to try and keep the tutorial simple and just use some more standard traditional colours for this one. So let's get on with it. Okay, so we're just applying the base coat here using the heavy skin tone. Nothing special about this. This is just 1 drop of the heavy skin tone to 1 drop of paint, 2 drops of water, and just apply it in 2 or 3 layers. It'll dry fairly quickly. Now we're applying the first shadow. First shadow is a 1-to-1 mix of dark flesh and vomit brown. So this will give a nice sort of tanned colour. So we just liberally apply this to the underside of the cheekbones, the cheeks, the eye sockets, around the hairline. That's also a good place to get that nice shadow colour in. Under the lip, the lower lip, under the nose, the side of the nose, all those areas where we want it to be slightly darker. So this is quite thin. This is probably about 3 drops of water to 1 drop of paint. So it's quite thin and takes a few layers to get on, but once you get there, it looks quite good. So you can see we're already starting to get a bit of shade on the eyes and around the cheeks and everything. So now for the first highlight, which is a mix of the heavy skin tone and the bleach bone. So we're just going to apply this to the raised areas and the big flat surfaces. So the forehead, the cheeks, the nose. These are all the areas that are going to catch the light from above. Tend to focus quite heavily on the sides of the forehead. That you just feel like they'll catch a bit more light. Just trying to get a little bit on the edges of the mouth as well, just to lighten those up slightly. This again is very thin, 3:1, so it'll take a couple of coats to get on. But once you've got it on, it'll give a nice smooth transition. Just got to be patient when using really thin paint. Okay, now for the second shadow. This is just pure dark flesh tone, and so now we're just adding it to the same places we added the first shadow, but we're just being a bit more controlled with it. So any natural recesses in the model, we're targeting those. So lines in the cheeks, coming down from the nose, around the mouth, all those sorts of areas. Any edges where the armour meets the face or the hair meets the face, so those are all going to get targeted. And very much the underside of the brow, where it comes over the eye, very much targeting that area as it would be in more shadow. Also use this shadow in the mouth as well. It was a nice dark colour, but obviously the red in it gives it a much more natural feel. So next is the final highlight, which is just pure bleach bone. And again, 3:1 water to paint ratio. So we're just applying that to the very tops. So it's pretty much just the sides of the forehead, the nose, tops of the cheeks. These are going to be the key areas. The edge of the brow as well. These are all the areas that catch the most light. So probably go over these a few times, build up the paint, get a nice smooth layer. And we try and get a little line across the forehead and everything, just to pick out the ridges that are there naturally. And then afterwards just going back and adding a couple of little bits of the original first shadow, just to smooth out the transitions. And there you can see the final results. Quite good. All in all, I think it took about 20 minutes from beginning to end to paint. So not the quickest method in the world, but I'm quite happy with the results. So thanks for watching, and please remember to rate, comment and subscribe.